Hi guys, I'm Mark.
I'm Penny.
And we are the Oyster Boys, and we're back after what feels like an absolute age away, doesn't it?
Someone got COVID, none of us.
No.
Ruined the party.
Yeah, ruined it. We had a big day planned, scheduled, loads of tastings and some equipment reviews, and then the vid got in the way, didn't it?
It did.
Vid got in the way of the vid.
Yeah. So there we go, but we're here now, so...
What have we got today, mate?
Well,
what have we got here?
So we obviously...
oh wow, that's clear.
I know. So you've got your own pressure ferment, and I wanted one for my for myself. So I decided to obviously make a suitable beer. So I avoided anything that was giving off yeasty flavours. So no wheat beers or Belgian beers. And I thought, you know what? I've never made a smoked beer before.
Okay.
And I really wanted to make a sessionable smoked beer, because obviously the only ones you really see is the one with the old Gothic writing. The right, it's a Rhineback.
Rouse beer or roast beer,
roast
isn't
beer,
it?
smoked beer. And I think I can make a sessionable one that'd be great for a barbecue, everything sort of like a smoked meat or something like that, with your pork shoulders, something like that. So it's got to score high in the oyster score and sessionable. And obviously it can show off the grain as well. So the yeast just needs to be a nice clean yeast, which I thought would be suitable for a pressure fermenter, because obviously I made this in the Apollo.
Yeah. So the yeast you used is the Omega OYL 001, 002, the German lager.
It was
second time lucky.
Well, the second time I used the Voss yeast, didn't I?
Did you?
Yes.
Which one was it you used?
The dry yeast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I didn't read the packet, put it in. Not much was happening, and I thought, that's strange. Read the packet, realised it was out of date. Got a tiny little bit of action maybe 5 days later, but I just...
Oh, and then you used the Novalager, didn't you?
That was it.
You used the Novalager,
I just decently, so I just literally depressurised it, added it back in, and then put the gas back on to pressurise it back up till the PRV blew. So, and then it went crazy. Then it left it. So. I probably would never be able to make it like this again, because it's got two.
No, unless you dual pitch with one dying yeast.
But if you were to clone it, I would make it with the Nova, not the other one, because that really was the one that obviously
did all the work,
didn't
it?
Yeah. The other one just loosened the jar.
I mean, looks-wise, mate, I'm just going to dive straight into it. So it's pretty much crystal clear, that, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's got everything that we obviously put in it. The
head's pretty nice. Did you put like Carapils in it? Or...
It's got 200 grams of Carapils in.
Trying to keep that head lasting around. It is lovely weatter today. It is beautiful.
So I hope this suits it. This is going to be a test.
My mouth is watering. It's a 9.5 out of 10 on looks.
Oh really?
Isn't it? Yeah.
The head is great,
solid,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's solid looking beer. It's been sat around for a few minutes as well. It's.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Yeah.
9. I mean, I can see the oyster through it, so that's good enough for me.
Well, I'm going to go and give it a sniff.
Okay.
So
for me, it just smells like
a lot
lager, but do you know what? There's no off flavours, is there?
There's nothing. There's no bad smells at all.
Nothing.
You can get a hint of smokiness, like just a touch on the back end. What did you use for your late hop addition? Was it Saaz?
It was Saaz, yeah.
You can smell the hard, smell the spiciness. There's a little, maybe a bit of sweetness in the aroma, like a biscuity sweetness smell. But yeah.
So it's so. My point being, it's so clean smelling. There's not a single note of off flavour. I think that's come down to pressure fermented.
Yeah, and it's not. There's no like sulphury notes or anything like that. So what PSI did you do it at? 10,
I did it at it was with the was it the blue? So yeah, so 10. Yeah, 10 PSI.
Well, it's worked well. I mean, it's. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 for aroma.
The thing is, it's
God
great
on both so far.
What's different is, can I talk about the malt now?
The
malt that we used was the BESTMALZ Smoked. It took me, I researched, honestly, every brewer's forum you could find to find out, because what I didn't want to do is end up with 19 litres of a smoke bomb that no one can drink.
Super, like when it's too much.
Yeah, so the BESTMALZ said you can start off with 10% of the grain is what they recommend, all the way up to 100. And I did some things, and the real smoky fan, smoke bomb likers this wasn't their choice.
Yeah, that turned into like 100% smoked malt beer endurance task.
Yes,
drinking
exactly.
Beer,
I didn't want it to be like that. So the best malt. It's made from the mountains of Jura, like the whiskey. But I think Jura, I mean, from my memory, is not overly peaty. I think it's got maybe a slight hint of it and stuff like that. It doesn't smell like Scotch when you smell Scotch that's peaty. Obviously, not all of it's peaty. You don't get that on the nose. So yeah, 14% of the grain bill is I used about 600, and that's what I went for. Just something that was gonna just be enough that it registered to give it character.
Yeah,
and that's what I want. So it's not going to be a smoke bomb. It's going to have, oh, what was that?
Yeah. So have you scored it on aroma?
Oh, sorry.
I have.
Sorry. Yeah, it's a 9.
Yeah.
It smells great.
I'm so thirsty, mate.
Great.
I want to dive in. Cheers, guys. Cheers. How much of this have you drunk? Have you nailed the keg yet?
It's done well. It's done well. There was a bit when I was pouring it and just went, oh no.
That's really nice.
It comes, doesn't it? Just at the end.
Yeah.
And then it goes.
It's not overpowering. It's not
probably a bit
smoky.
too cold at the moment that it's probably extinguished a little bit the flavour, but
probably you could probably describe it as like an entry level.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Smoked beer. A nice bitterness as well. It's really long, drawn out. Taste Hallertau Magnum, I guess, for your bittering. Normally what we use, isn't it?
Well, it makes sense. It's just a bittering hop, isn't it? So I think, to be fair, I don't think it was that. I think it was blank. And then I think when I was picking up, he went, no, the Hallertau do a stronger one than that.
Right, okay. It's nice.
So, yeah,
really nice.
Like you say, it's a real entry level. If someone's like, do you like smoked beer? Probably most 99% would go, no. I go, well, look, this has just got a hint of it. And then if you give them that, I think they go, ooh.
And I think
I like that. There's no way you can get smoked beer other than one.
No.
Even if you go to a supermarket, trying to find a smoked beer, you'd have to go to a specialist shop and find one
for it.
or two, and they'd be like, fuck, Jesus, do you know what I mean? That's insane. But this is just like, it's just a character lager.
I would say that the mouth feels really good. The bitterness is dead nice on it. It's a very nice, subtle smoked flavour. It's very crisp, isn't it? That Novalager yeast, I think I'd definitely use that again. Yeah, it's solid, and it's great on a hot day.
It's probably up there, the top 5 beers I've made for me.
And not that I'm going to labour the fact on this one, but I think the last lager that you made, we had some issues with, didn't we?
Yeah.
And this is the first one that you've done that you've pressure fermented.
Yeah.
There's no like remnants of similar problems. There's no appley flavours. There's no off flavours.
Nothing.
Obviously, fermenting under pressure, you've managed to sort of get rid of any sulfury or off flavours from pushing the yeast a bit higher on the temperature scale.
18 degrees.
Okay.
18
I
degrees.
think on that one, because that yeast, you can go from a really big range of temperatures.
Well,
that yeast
the reason it was 18 because I think the other one that originally that I started with was up to 21, maybe. So that's what I started, and then I just obviously kept it the same thing. So, should we talk about the Apollo, or should
we'll do that.
Score this first? So 18. It didn't take long. 3 weeks, closed transfer, and then a week later. So 4 weeks I was drinking this. Yeah.
It's a solid beer, that, mate.
Strength-wise, I think it finished. I think it was about 5%.
Okay. So it's premium lager.
Yeah.
I love that scale. Is it a premium lager? Yeah, premium lager.
Also, I should say the what's it called? Inspiration was Staroparma, because I had one not so long ago, and there is a slight smokiness to Staroparma. I think if you maybe you drop that to maybe 10% of the grain bill,
you're probably closer to
close, and then maybe just added a bit of sweetness in there as
well. Staroparma,
a bit of Munich malt or something like that, just to add a bit of the sweetness. And I think you would be, and to obviously make it darker, it's more darker, but I think you would be a million miles off, you know.
Yeah.
So, what was the? I'm trying to think now. Price.
Oh, you haven't scored it on taste yet.
Have I not scored it on taste?
No,
what's yours?
You've been
yapping.
I give it like a 8.8. It's really good. It's a high-scoring beer so far.
8.5.
Yeah.
8.5.
How are you going to do price? Because you can't factor in the fact that you had to bin off a £9 packet of yeast because it was.
Well.
So, mate, it's 71p a pint. Pretty good, that. For a super crispy boy. And I think, again, pressure fermenting and using modern lager strains means that you haven't got to lager a beer super cold for 5 weeks, 7 weeks.
For a home brewer, that
game changer,
fermentation space is so critical and valuable that any chance you can shorten that down is it's critical. It ups the game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can your beers per month.
Oh yeah.
Your BPM it's dramatically increased. So
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, you could turn out 2 beers a month instead of 1. I mean, or even if a lager, it'd be 0.5 beers per month, wouldn't it?
Well, I've had the beer that I've made. So we're in a local homebrew club, and the beer that I've made for a competition that they've got going on, which is just like a wild card ingredient competition. I've done an elderflower beer. Well, an elderflower lager it was meant to be. I was going to use WLP 925 so I could really call it a lager, but they didn't have any in stock, so I've instead used the Lutra Kvike.
Okay.
I brewed it on a Wednesday. It fermented out in 2 days. I crashed it, added gelatin, and then I tasted it on Sunday, and it was great.
There we go.
5 days.
Yeah, and you can taste the elderflower in it as well.
Yeah, good, yeah.
I'm
But
excited.
you could do 6 beers a month at that rate.
Oh, wow. I mean, that is quick. That is a high BPM.
Yeah, that's a very high BPM. You probably have to go to hospital.
So, right, it's a price score.
Yeah, sorry, getting sidetracked here.
Yeah, I think that's a solid 8 for me.
Yeah, it is. It's an 8 on price.
Yeah.
And sessionability is going to be really good as well.
Yeah, for a smoked lager. I mean, this is what it was going
Yeah,
for.
look at it, mate. It's crystal clear. I mean, I'm just saying, it's a very attractive looking beer.
That's
as
all
well,
I'd say is if you like smoked beers, turn it up. If you've never made one before and you've and an hour in.
And do you think that's the only thing you'd have to tweak in the recipe?
Yeah.
If you're doing this beer again, could you just say, change that percentage of smoked and take away from what base malt did you use?
It was the
Pilsner malt or
it was the said not. It's the Bohemian Pilsner.
Yeah, so you could just switch the percentage of that around, couldn't you? I suppose.
Yeah, because you do get. It's not like a crystal malt sort of thing, so it's just a malt that's been smoked. So yeah.
What's your sessionability score?
Sessionability,
because you'll know. You'll
I mean,
have done it.
It's a 9.
Yeah. Was that like a drowning lion? I think it's a 7.5 for me.
Oh, okay.
It's not, because normally
It's a bit meaty after a while.
It does, yeah. The lagers that I love are so easy going, so easy drinking. This has got that little something which means I'll probably dial it back a bit, but it's still it's possibly going to be a contender for one of our highest scoring beers this one.
I would say that I've got endurance for certain styles of beer. I was in Holland recently, and where they had wine stuff on tap, and I ordered it. Oh, it's not on draft yet. It's like, well, come on, you put the thing there. It was downstairs. I was like, just put it on next week. I'm not here next week because I never had it, but I had Grolsch's
Weiss, yeah.
Yeah, which I didn't realise you do. And we were drinking it, so went, I like that. And then they went on and started having it. And they went, how many can you drink realistically? I went, till I fall asleep. They're like, really? Like, it doesn't make you. And I was like, nope.
But I suppose for this one, all that remains now is to say that this is the oyster score for this beer.
It's not. It's in here.
No, it's not. It's already on the screen there. So that's the oyster score for this beer.
Yeah.
Smash like, hit subscribe. Mate, I would say well done. That is a really, really tasty beer.
Thank you very much.
Definitely would have smoked beer again. Because like I say, I've not really had one other than the super, super smoky ones, which are just too much. But definitely would have a smoked beer again.
Smoked wheat, that might be interesting.
Yeah, actually, that could be good. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Oysters out.